Hello, hockey fans. Austin here, and welcome to the day after episode discussion of the Oilers' 3-2 victory over the Vancouver Canucks in Game 4 last night at Rogers Place. The Oilers have tied this series at 2, and they held a 2-0 lead heading to the third period. A 2-goal lead heading to the third period, just like they did in Game 1. And just like in Game 1, they did blow the lead. However, in this one, they were able to win off of a clutch goal from Evan Bouchard with 38 seconds remaining. And for those of you who tuned into the stream, you'll know how high my heart rate was getting during that game. It was consistently above 120, 130 beats per minute. When Evan Bouchard scored, it hit almost 150 beats per minute. Really fun game overall. I liked Edmonton's play. The Vancouver Canucks, they just don't quit. This team does not quit, and the Oilers need to learn to hold on to a third period lead just a little bit better, in my opinion. Vancouver constantly is on you. They're constantly attacking, and we knew that they would be desperate in the third period last night. Calvin Pickard, he got his first NHL playoff start in his career. He gets his first NHL playoff win in his career, and super happy for Calvin Pickard. Calvin Pickard played a good, not like an amazing game, but he gave us a chance to win. He made the saves he needed to make, and both of the Canucks goals were kind of deflected. Especially that second one, there was just a massive humanity in front of him. He was being screened. It went off of a foot and in. There's not much you can do about that when you're a goaltender. I thought Calvin Pickard played really solid. Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel and you like my content, make sure you do that. Also hit like. That goes a long way in supporting the channel as well. And let's kind of jump into this. Now, before I get into the actual discussion and talking points, I had a few Canucks fans last night after the game ask me about there's a play that looked like it might have been a high stick from Leon Draisaitl before Mattias Ekholm kept the puck in at the blue line. It was probably about 10 seconds before Evan Bouchard scored to put the Oilers up 3-2. Now, looking at the replays, I didn't initially think that it was a high stick, and I'm going to show everyone a bit of it here in just 1 second. I am surprised, though. Usually anything with 5 minutes remaining or less in a game, the NHL will instigate any kind of review or challenge just to take a look at things. They did not take a look at this, so obviously they must have been very confident that this puck was not high sticked. But just for my Canucks fans, I did want to bring this up. I did want to show you why I truly believe this was not a high stick. Now, it's hard to see where the puck is. It's kind of right here, right where my little purple cursor is. There's the puck. It's flipped up, and then this is where contact is made by Leon Draisaitl. So his stick is straight, and the blade, this is shoulder height. The top of the puck is not even like above Leon Draisaitl's shoulder. So this camera angle, this clearly shows that this was not touched with a high stick. I had a few Canucks fans mention, the angle of his stick and it wouldn't be possible. Well, no, it's possible. This puck is not above Leon Draisaitl's shoulder here. This is at the moment of contact. And if the top of the puck isn't even above his shoulder level, then obviously contact could not have been made above the shoulder. But I did just want to do my due diligence. I did want to show that. For Canucks fans, obviously you're frustrated. Obviously you might have been a little confused why the league wouldn't even try and review that one. I am also surprised as well. I did want to do my due diligence though, and just bring that up, show everyone what some of these fans were talking about, why there might be a bit of, I wouldn't say controversy, but the Canucks fans definitely have a reason to at least express some, confusion as to why there was no challenge initiated by the head office in the league. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the day after discussion. So on the right side of the screen, our talking points today: Calvin Pickard season, sit CECI, Nuge is huge, Evan Bouchard, Leon Draisaitl, Evander, Kane, and Corey Perry, and then my closing thoughts. Of course, the Oilers won 3-2. Bottom of the screen, those were the advanced statistics from the game last night. The Oilers at 5-on-5 held a 64.39% expected goals for advantage. Corsi for percentage was 53.06%. High danger Corsi for was 72.73%. The Oilers at 5-on-5 only gave up 3 high danger chances, and they themselves had 8, and their scoring chances for 56.76%. Series is tied 2-2. Let's jump into it. So first topic, Pickard season. Now, Calvin Pickard, as I mentioned in the intro, he did get the start, his first career playoff start. Stuart Skinner has been struggling. Stuart Skinner's save percentage has not been good. The Oilers have just really needed 900 goaltending, 900 save percentage goaltending. That's all they've really needed in the postseason. And last night, Calvin Pickard gave the team 900 save percentage goaltending, and the Oilers get a win. I think the Oilers, for the most part, they controlled play. They had some really good looks. Arturs Silovs is unbelievable, by the way. Canucks fans, you have an unbelievable goaltender. Anyone that was concerned about Silovs stepping in, even though he's, the third string career AHLer at this point in his career, no, Arturs Silovs is an absolute gamer. He is amazing. He has been phenomenal in net for Vancouver, and he is the reason why this game did not get more out of hand, why the Oilers were not able to produce any more goals. The Oilers had a power play in the third period where they could have extended their lead, and Arturs Silovs made some huge saves. That Oilers top unit stayed out for the entire power play. They had some amazing looks, but Silovs, he shut the door. He gave Vancouver a chance to come back into the game. They eventually did come back, but they could not complete the comeback and get the victory, and we are heading back to Vancouver for Game 5 tomorrow night, tied at 2 in this series. But for Calvin Pickard, I thought, if you watch the live stream, I mentioned a few times that he looks a little unorthodox in his net. He moves around a lot more than Stuart Skinner does. Calvin Pickard, he's more of an athletic style goaltender. He does move his body and limbs more than Skinner does. Skinner's very technical. He's very, when he's on his game, he's relaxed. He's like no, I'm not comparing skill level to Carey Price, but we all know Carey Price, when he's on his game, he's not moving a lot in his crease. He's not scrambling. He's not moving his limbs all over the place. He's not kicking pucks out. Pucks hit him and just stick inside of him. Stuart Skinner, he's like that. He's technical. A lot of modern goaltenders, they're very technical in how they move and act and interact with the play. Calvin Pickard, a little bit different last night. Sometimes it looked shaky, but I think a lot of his movement is calculated, just like Mike Smith. Mike Smith, of course, we all know how he used to play in Edmonton. He was very all over the place, to say the least. Calvin Pickard, not quite at that level with Mike Smith in terms of how much he's moving around in that blue paint. But I am happy that Calvin Pickard was able to get the win. I'm very happy for him. Now, I had a lot of Oilers fans and Canucks fans ask, do you go back to Stuart Skinner now for Game 5, or do you roll with Calvin Pickard? At this point, you play the goaltender that gives you wins. You go with the guy that gave you a win. And in this situation, Game 5, you go Calvin Pickard. If he loses Game 5, you go to Stuart Skinner in Game 6. That's how it's going to roll. And, depending if the Oilers are able to get out of the second round, if Calvin Pickard, ends up controlling this and the Oilers end up winning with him in net, you keep rolling with Pickard. You roll with Pickard until he loses, and then you go to Skinner. You roll with Skinner until he loses. I think that's how they have to manage the playoff goaltending situation now. Calvin Pickard, very happy for him. I thought he played good. Like I said, I don't think he played amazing. It's not like he had to really stand on his head, but he played just good enough to get the win, and that's all you ask for as an Oilers fan. 900 save percentage. That's all this team needs for the most part, most nights. So I was very happy for Pickard. We love Calvin Pickard, super happy for him. Also, I guess last night after the game, Mark Spector, he asked a pretty silly question to Pickard about, did you ever think that you would be playing in the NHL again and stuff? And Evan Bouchard's reaction, someone caught Evan Bouchard's reaction, his eye roll, and his he puts his head into his hand. And Mark Spector, man, there's a lot of players that don't like him or the questions that he asks. I don't know what Mark Spector is on sometimes, but hey, Mark Spector's been around here for a long time, so that's all I'm going to say on that. I did think that Evan Bouchard's reaction to Spector's question, though, was very funny and very on brand for how the team feels about Spector these days. So, moving on to Cody CECI now. The topic is sit CECI. I didn't think he should have been playing Game 4 at all. However, I will give Chris Knobloch credit. He at least split Nurse and CeCi up. I said in my pregame report, if that defense pair started together, Nurse and CeCi that is, I would have literally turned into the Joker on my live stream. Lucky for me, I did not have to turn into the Joker. I had a few people disappointed, I think, in the chat last night. I think they wanted to see me, put a big smile on my face and actually turn into the Joker. No Joker arc yet for me at this point. However, Cody CeCi last night, good God, he just... the heart attack that he gives me every time he's on the ice. And poor Brett Kulak, man. Brett Kulak was all over the place just trying to cover and do what he could to mitigate any kind of damage when him and CeCi were on the ice together. Cody CeCi, holy smokes. In the third period, there were numerous shifts where he had 2 or 3, even 4 opportunities to move the puck out of the zone, and he could not get the puck out. Oh my God, I was losing my mind on the stream. I wanted to rip my hair out. Cody CeCi is not fit at this point to continue playing in the playoffs, in my opinion. I do not care if Philip Broberg is a left-handed shot. There is no way he could be worse on that right side in the defensive group than Cody CeCi is right now. CECI almost single-handedly allowed the Canucks to, continue to pump up shots and scoring chances. And CECI he's literally unplayable. This is an unplayable defenseman at the moment. And even all the advanced metrics show that Cody CECI was by far the worst defenseman on the team last night. And it's not even close. Here, I'm going to take a quick look. I have Natural Stat Trick pulled up here. So I'll go Oilers on ice, expected goals for percentage. And Cody CECI, his expected goals for percentage, him and Kulak were just under 50%, and that's just not good enough. Honestly, it's just not good enough considering, how much the Oilers controlled play. And then if we break it down even further, just as that defense pair, not individually, 47.69% were their expected goals for percentage, and I think that was actually being very kind to them. CC last night, awful. Terrible, no good. Not a big fan. Obviously, I keep beating Cody CECI. This whole talking point, like this horse, man, this poor horse, it is literally turning into oil at this point. It's just been beaten and it's been buried so far beneath the earth. But I will continue to talk about it until Chris Knoblauch gets him out of the lineup. I am absolutely tired of seeing CECI out there. He is going to ruin the Oilers' ability to win a playoff game and possibly go further in the playoffs with how bad he's been playing. So please sit Cody CECI, play Troy Stecher, play Philip Broberg. I do not care what it takes. If you're worried about Broberg playing the right side, put Brett Kulak on the right side. Brett Kulak, he played right D for quite a bit in Montreal, actually. He was comfortable on the right side. Don't know if he still is, but he can play right D. Put Kulak on the right if you need to. Philip Broberg on the left. I don't care. CC is awful, and you cannot get any worse right now from the players that aren't playing. Give them an opportunity. Just give them an opportunity is all I ask for. Cody CC, unplayable. Now, speaking of CC and, the rest of the defense group, I did mention Chris Knoblauch. He split up the defense pairs. He had Desharnais with Nurse. He had CC with Kulak, but he kept Ekholm and Bouchard together, which is a good thing. You have to keep Ekholm and Bouchard together because they are so good together. You cannot split those two up. Nurse and Desharnais, I thought they were good. I didn't think they were great. I thought Darnell Nurse was having a pretty good game. And then, of course, as the game was going along, I felt like in the third period, they were focusing a little too much on defense instead of getting the puck out quickly on transition. So they did get hemmed in a little bit, but overall, Nurse and Desharnais, not a huge issue with their game. I thought for the most part they controlled play well. Darnell Nurse was jumping up in the rush a couple times, which is good to see. Darnell Nurse is at his best when he is skating. He's moving his feet. He is a very good skater. And when it comes to those two, I thought they worked well. I don't know how sustainable this is long-term for Edmonton's defensive group, but at the moment it worked. I did like their play. When you go into game 5, you obviously do not play CC with Nurse again, ever. Please keep it the way it is. And obviously, maybe even go 7 defensemen. Maybe you go 11-7. Chris Knoblauch had kind of hinted that he might do that. Phil Broberg was an option. He did take warm-ups before the game last night. But yeah, in this situation, it's just, you can't play CC in this lineup anymore. And for Desharnais, I'm glad that he had a good bounce back game. I thought he really struggled in game 3. So not bad for Desharnais. And then of course we all know how good Ekholm and Bouchard are, and especially Evan Bouchard. We will talk about him though in a little bit. Now let's move on. Nuge is huge. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, probably his best game of the postseason and maybe his NHL playoff career. I thought Nugent-Hopkins had a terrific game. He scored that beautiful goal, that patented low blocker wrister on the 2-on-1, but I do want to mention that Mattias Ekholm created a lot of space and the opportunity for that 2-on-1 for Nugent-Hopkins and McDavid to go in and get that goal. Mattias Ekholm, he protected the puck. He took a hit, allowed Nugent-Hopkins to grab it at the Canucks blue line late in the second period. I think there was just under 50 seconds left when Nugent-Hopkins put that puck in the net, and very happy for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I have been very hard on him. I mentioned that he only had 6 shots on goal at even strength in the entire postseason in 8 games. I believe he had 2 or 3 shots on goal last night. He had a goal, obviously. Very happy for Nugent-Hopkins. Terrific game from him. I thought him up there with Hyman and McDavid. Really good showing. And for, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, don't ever play him at center again. I think at this point of his career, he is not a centerman. He does not play the center position. Do not allow him to play the center position. He is much more effective as a winger. He is a complementary player. He's very smart when he's on the ice, and he complements the higher-end skill players like McDavid very well. Keep him on that left wing, maybe even right wing if you have to, depending how you move the lines around. very happy with Nugent Hopkins. I thought he played a really, really big game. Nuge was huge for sure. We love to see that in oil country. And as someone that's been very hard on Nugent Hopkins, especially his even strength play in the postseason in his career, it was nice to see him have a really good game, really strong impact on the ice. Happy for Nugent Hopkins. Now, speaking of some of the other lineup decisions that were made before I get into the Evan Bouchard talking point here, you had Holloway with Kane and Draisaitl, and I really liked that line. I thought that line really did control play. I thought they played very well. I thought Dylan Holloway, I thought his tenacity on the forecheck was terrific. And for Evander Kane, that was maybe his best game of the playoffs. Obviously, he didn't score a goal, but he did get an assist on the game winner, and he started the entire forecheck that led to the game winner. He absolutely leveled Hronek in the right corner in Vancouver's zone after Vancouver had just tied it. They put out Draisaitl, Holloway, and Kane to try and respond, and respond they did. Evander Kane with a massive hit on Hronek to get that puck, did not allow Hronek to make a clean clear. The Oilers managed to continue to cycle. It works around the boards. Draisaitl knocks the puck out of the air with his stick. Ekholm, the kick play that he made at the blue line, Mattias Ekholm, to keep that puck in the zone before the Oilers continue their cycle, before it came around back to Bouchard for the game winner. A thing of beauty. Mattias Ekholm is just so good. He's clearly the best defenseman that this team has had since Chris Pronger. And, for the, that second line, I thought they played great. You absolutely keep Holloway up there in game 5. I thought Holloway, he did not look overwhelmed at any point, and he just needs a bit of finishing touch. I think a couple more shots on goal would go a long way, but I thought Evander Kane, Dylan Holloway, and Leon Draisaitl, I thought they played really well. They had a really good forecheck for most of the night, and Draisaitl, again, just going to move on here. Leon Draisaitl, unbelievable game from him. Another 2 points. He's up to 20 points in 9 games in the playoffs. Playoff Draisaitl is on another level. He is beast mode. He is literally the best player in the postseason right now. He is by far the Conn Smythe leading candidate, in my personal opinion. Leon Draisaitl just is so good. You absolutely love to see it. And I can't say enough good things about Leon Draisaitl. He continues to just blow me away in terms of his play. My expectations are always completely blown away by him, and he truly does lead this team in the postseason. And that's not saying that Connor McDavid doesn't. That's not saying that anyone else on this team hasn't been leading. Leon Draisaitl, he just finds that extra gear. A lot of times in the regular season, there's fans, including myself, that sometimes question his, I don't want to say effort level, but you definitely questioning the, maybe his approach to games sometimes, especially, in those January, February, March games. You get into the home stretch of the season. It does look like he isn't moving a whole lot out there, but he's one of those players that he slows the whole game down. He slows everything down. Connor McDavid, he speeds up. He plays the game at a high tempo speed, physically and mentally. Leon Draisaitl, he has the ability to slow the game down, and he slows everyone around him down, and then he's able to find guys in the open areas with the puck. His reverse hitting, his checking down low in the corners, his board battles. I will say he had a couple pretty nasty giveaways in the third period on his backhand. Not a big fan of that. He needs to stop those weird backhands into the middle of the ice. Just make the safe play, Leon. You're obviously one of, if not the best player in the playoffs right now. We'll try and limit those giveaways, but for Leon Draisaitl, there's a reason why he's my favorite player in the NHL right now, why I own 2 jerseys of his. He's been unbelievable. Cannot say enough good things about Draisaitl. Now, I did skip over Evan Bouchard, but I did kind of talk about him in terms of the defensive group earlier, so I will quickly touch on Evan Bouchard. He has been so clutch. Evan Bouchard, amazing. He's had a terrific postseason, just like last year. He is leading the defensive group in terms of offense. He's now up to 15 points in the postseason in 9 games. He leads all defensemen in playoff scoring now. And for Evan Bouchard, he has turned it up to another level. Obviously, a lot of credit goes to Mattias Ekholm too. It allows Bouchard to really play the game that he wants to play. It opens him up with the offensive abilities. But Evan Bouchard, you have to give him a ton of credit too. The player that he has developed into, that he's turned into. I'm just going to say this right now. Those of you that might have wanted Evan Bouchard traded back in November, I hope we are rethinking those thoughts. I hope that we have grown as an individual, and we have come to understand that Evan Bouchard is a significant piece on this team. He's going to be a significant piece on this team moving forward. And he has 1 year left after this season on his bridge deal that he signed. I don't care what it takes to sign him. You give him a blank check. You let his agent write a number on it, and you sign him for whatever the fuck number they put on there. Evan Bouchard is the best offensive defenseman this team has had since Paul Coffey, and he is the best defenseman that this team will continue to roll with after Matthias Ekholm. Obviously, the age curve is going to hit him. He is 35 or 34, and Ekholm seems to be getting better with age, but of course there will come a point where Ekholm is no longer with the team. That's just how father time works. But Evan Bouchard is going to be the guy, and there's going to be tough decisions to make when Bouchard gets his deal, because he is going to command over $10 million per season. I guarantee it. I'm just putting that out there. I'm preparing everyone for that. Especially with, Nurse makes $9.25 million. Obviously, that's an overpay. In hindsight, at the time, maybe that was worth it. I don't know. Honestly, I barely remember 2 years ago. So it's for Evan Bouchard, though, absolutely, you give him whatever he wants. You give him a blank check. I hope he is an Oiler for life. He 100% deserves it. Evan Bouchard is just on another level right now when it comes to production from defensemen, and you absolutely love to see it. We love Evan Bouchard. The Bouch bomb last night came in clutch. Vancouver tied the game. The crowd was out of it. Everyone seemed pretty deflated. However, Bouchard was able to get that crowd right back into it, and you love it. You love it. I love Evan Bouchard. Let's get him signed long-term this summer, and then make some hard decisions with some of the other guys that might not be around long-term anymore. I know Darnell Nurse has a no-move clause, so a lot of people are like, oh, you can't move him. Well, you can. You absolutely can. You can ask Darnell Nurse for a list of teams. If he doesn't want to give you a list of teams, then, maybe you play hardball, and as a coach, you just have him in the press box until he gives you a list of teams. I don't think they would actually do that. I think $9.25 million on the ice is a lot better than sitting in the press box. This will be a conversation we have this summer, of course, so I won't try and get ahead of myself here. We'll just move on. Next two players I want to talk about, Evander Kane and Corey Perry. Oh boy. So I already talked a little bit about Evander Kane, his play that led to the goal, his forecheck. All night, though, he was all over it. He hit Zadorov numerous times. Every time he did, the crowd just went absolutely wild. And Zadorov at one point, you saw the coaching staff on the Canucks bench, Sportsnet showed this. Zadorov was hit a couple times really hard by Evander Kane. And Zadorov was looking a little frustrated. And, Zadorov is someone that plays on that edge. And, if he loses his temper, he can be really nasty to play against. The coaching staff for the Canucks, he went to the bench after he took a hit from Kane, and they were just talking to him, hands on his shoulder, talking into his ear, just getting him to calm down, be like, hey, Zadorov, listen, just relax, calm down, you're okay. That obviously goes a long way, because Zadorov didn't take any kind of retaliatory penalty last night. He played a clean, hard game. He hit a few Oilers very hard last night, but it was all clean. I love Zadorov, by the way, before the game when he was asked about Hyman not being suspended. He mentioned that, they have to protect their investment, referring to the NHL and Connor McDavid. CECI was suspended for a game. And I love the heel. I love that heel turn, that villain side. You need more villains in the NHL. You need more personality in the NHL. So Zadorov, I want to hate him, but I absolutely love him. And good on him for not retaliating against Evander Kane last night, because Evander Kane, he eventually, later in the first period, took a really boneheaded high sticking penalty. He cross-checked Tyler Myers in the face, busted up. Well, it didn't really bust up Myers' nose, but it did cause bleeding. So he was given 4-minute double minor for high sticking. And I don't know why Evander Kane did that. However, that was the only real blemish on Evander Kane's game last night. The Oilers killed off that 4-minute power play, which was instrumental in the team's success as well. Vancouver, I think, only got one shot on the 4-minute power play. So that was a great kill for the Oilers. And overall, I thought the officiating last night was incredibly well done. It was very fair. They let the players play. They only called the obvious infractions, and they were few and far between. So I really like that. If you're gonna let them play, at least let them play. Call the obvious stuff. Obviously, the cross check to the nose of Myers needed to be called, but Evander Kane, other than that 4-minute penalty, I thought Evander Kane played maybe his best game of the postseason at this point, so you love to see it. And then I wanted to mention Corey Perry because he's a little troublemaker, and after the whistle, I think what happened here was it was in the third period. I think Brock Besser was asking Corey Perry what stick he uses, because I think Brock Besser really wanted to know what stick Corey Perry uses. So Perry, he held it up at eye level in front of Besser's face just to let Besser read the flex number on it and, the brand and see what the colors are. And I think Brock Besser really appreciated that. So Corey Perry, I think he's just being a nice guy. I think he was holding holding that stick up to Brock Besser's face just to show him like, hey, this is the stick I use. If you ever want to use it, hey, just give this guy a call. He provides them for me. Obviously, I'm kidding. But I love Corey Perry last night. He was sniffing around it. I thought him, McLeod, and Foegele actually played a pretty good game. I am surprised to see Fogel's ice time so low. Warren Foegele only played 543 at even strength last night, but he played really good in his limited minutes. I thought McLeod, Foegele, and Perry were really effective on the forecheck. They were cycling, they were getting opportunities. Ryan McLeod at one point had a really good scoring chance, and I forget who it was on Vancouver got a stick on it, and it deflected way high and out into the crowd. But Corey Perry, I love that, getting the stick up and just holding it at eye level to Besser. I love it, man. I thought it was so funny. I was laughing on the stream last night. And for Corey Perry, you love to see that. You obviously, would production from Corey Perry be nice? Yes. You want Corey Perry to score, at least chip in on offense. That third line still has not scored a goal. The fourth line for Edmonton has not scored a goal. You would like to see a goal here soon, because it is still just the big guns getting the goals, but at least Nugent Hopkins scored. There is signs that depth scoring might be coming along, so that's a good thing. However, we'll see if Corey Perry, Ryan McLeod, and Foegele can continue their strong play and manage to get a goal in Game 5. But that's pretty much it from me today. We're already nearing 26 minutes in this video, so if you're still watching the video up to this point, I thank you very much. I will have everything time-stamped, so of course, if there's anything that you missed or you want to go back to, I will make sure that all of my topics were time-stamped for you, just to make things a little easier to keep track of in this video. You can skip around and look at whatever you want, watch whatever you want, read whatever you want, and listen to whatever you want. If you liked today's video and you want to see more playoff content, make sure you hit that like button. It does go a long way in supporting the channel. If you really liked it today, make sure you subscribe if you are not yet subscribed. The amount of new people that we've had tune in recently, Canucks fans, the support has been amazing. I just want to thank you all so much. And not even Canucks and Oilers fans. There's been a lot of fans from different teams tuning into the channel. I had someone the other day comment, I'm a Flames fan, not sure why I'm here. Guess what? You're here because you're welcome here. I love chatting hockey. I love all the fans that do tune in. This is a welcoming place. Politeness, being a good sport about things. These are things that I drive home every day to my community. So as long as we continue to respect each other, be good sports about this game. At the end of the day, it is a game. We're here to have fun for the most part. Obviously, we want our teams to win, but I just want to thank everyone for being very cordial, very polite, and very kind lately. The support on the channel has been unbelievable. You are all seriously the best. I cannot thank all of you enough. So again, thanks again. Yes, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, sometime today, make sure you tell someone that you love them. All right, I will be back tomorrow with a pregame report, and then of course, I will be live streaming Game 5 tomorrow night. Let's go Oilers. Canucks fans, good game. GG's. I look forward to the game tomorrow night. We'll see you all soon. Take care.